So you guys see how perfectly Kaspa grabbed this liquidity at level of 10 cents too. So I guess it's very important to follow these liquidity levels because of course not always you can predict these moves, but on this particular occasion I guess we have seen a move towards the downside, and that was 7%. Now guys, that's only 4 hourly. So what 4 hourly is showing us based on the indicators, right? So first of all, if it comes to stochastic RSI, it looks like that we might potentially bounce from this level that also has served as a support because obviously we have grabbed this liquidity. Anyways guys, let's have a look on the daily. Okay, so the daily time frame is showing us, well, let's say still bullish sentiment, right? Because if I'm going to zoom it out, well, we have closed above this pink-ish line. This is definitely a bullish thing. Let me actually delete this thing. Okay, so what daily is showing us is that stochastic RSI is showing us a bearishness. Okay, we are potentially going to go down, and also people are feeling fearful at the moment. And also guys, this is the indicator, basically fear and greed, right? I'm going to be using it more often now because that perfectly actually shows of peak points if it comes to greed, right? So you saw, of course, not perfect, right, but almost perfect. Let's say we saw a top roughly in here, right, the local top, and the greed was basically at its peak, and here the green color, of course, right? We don't really have to go further away. We've got another one, right? So every single time that people are feeling greedy, right, what they are doing, they are pushing the price of Kaspa towards the downside, right? Just like in here, for instance, right? And just like in here. So I do believe that this is a valid indicator, okay, fear and greed. Anyways guys, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and of course like the content if you find any value in that video. My name is Luke, and let's go through Kaspa's short time frame prediction, and of course let's go through overall market sentiment, because I do believe that we've got quite interesting things to cover. Okay, so first of all, Binance confirms Kaspa rewards that will be distributed by tomorrow. Binance has just clarified that weekends and holidays do not count as working days, and meaning the final payout of Kaspa mining rewards should be completed by tomorrow. Of course, if you guys have been participating in these Binance rewards and stuff like that, I personally did not, but I believe that some people probably did. Now guys, let's have a look at Kaspa's dashboard. So we are sitting at 2.6 billion, and the volume is obviously not that juicy, right? 67.9 mil. And if it comes to price, we are sitting a downside of 5%. Okay, now we are sitting at 89.6% mined. And now, ladies and gents, looking at the overall sentiment on the market, let me actually refresh it very quickly. Well, as you guys can pretty much see, things are not looking juicy at all. If we are going to go only weekly, monthly, right, nothing is happening. Crypto is in such a bad sentiment, and I also feel bad looking at my portfolio. Okay, but I do believe that things are going to change. And of course guys, this is not financial advice, so remember about that. These are just strictly my opinions. Now, in order to kind of clarify of what I think, let's actually read this, okay, because I'm going to completely agree with that. But anyways, pay attention. So everyone was expecting an altcoin season, and that's exactly why it didn't happen. Thousands of investors were positioned for the same altcoin season we've seen in every previous cycle. This is something that I also been mentioning a while ago, is that all of us are actually more educated, by this cycle, and it's not that difficult to learn crypto within a couple of months, right? Especially when you're waiting ever since bear cycle, for instance, right? So people are more educated, and market makers / manipulators and also exchange mafia knows about these things. Okay, anyways, there is no way everyone can be a winner, which I'm going to totally agree with. Okay, so what happened instead? Market makers decided to delay altcoin season, and they pushed peak euphoria and hype with bullish catalyst, but for Bitcoin only. Bitcoin ETFs, Bitcoin strategic reserve, Trump rallies, you name it, all designed to pump Bitcoin only and leave your altcoins in the dark. Why? Because they want to frustrate investors. The majority of investors only hold altcoins, so what better way to cause depression than pumping Bitcoin, leaving your altcoins behind? And their plan worked perfectly. The majority of investors have now left the market and sold. Sentiment is horrific, and altcoins are below even bear market prices in some cases. And that's why now would be the perfect time to full send the market. Leaving sidelined investors behind. This allows the elite to pump their banks and extract as much as value as possible. This is a playbook they use over and over again in the markets. Investors will FOMO back in whilst the elite dump their backs on their heads. And before you know it, the cycle has ended. In my opinion, well, this person's opinion, the conditions are now perfect for this to happen, and if you have survived this long, well done. And you are stronger than 99% of investors. The next few months should finally reward us for our patience. And he's expecting some huge moves in Q1, which is well currently now, Q2 2025 for altcoins and the crypto market, right? Guys, again, okay, with this, I know how it sounds, okay, because I'm talking about this for a while on the channel, right? But if you think about it, it makes complete sense. Remember, guys, that this is not so easy that you are going to buy some, Dogecoin or whatever, in fact, okay, even Kaspa, and it magically will gonna do 20x because it did in the past, or 50x or 100x, right? You have to remember that this market is of course manipulated by huge players, people that have a lot of money, and of course there's market makers, right? They are making the market, and we are checking these things every single day by looking at liquidity heat map, which we are going to check a little bit later, right? So I hope that makes sense. And also Miles actually pointing out some valid points, okay? So big shout out to Miles, all right? He says that he haven't seen the market sentiment this intense in a while, and a lot is happening at once, and it's tough to keep up. And guys, I'm going to completely agree with him, because I even see some hateful comments for me, saying that my content is boring, whatever, right? Why the content is boring? Such a shame that content is not boring. Why Kaspa or any other crypto coins are pumping, right? Then the content isn't boring, right? But it's boring when you are losing money, right? You see that psychology of the market. People are obviously angry. Anyways, if you missed the last 24 hours in crypto, here is your full recap. No fluff, just facts. So let's see what he's talking about. A slow day for the entire market as the stock market was closed. BTC has continued raging between 95 and 97k, and Ethereum showed some outperformance, retesting its range high at $2,850 before rejecting back inside. Bulls need a high time frame breakout for a momentum to shift bullish. Argentina's president, well, obviously, guys, you probably know, okay, he didn't promote it, right? He shared it only, right? Well, I don't want to accuse him, obviously I don't know, but I know what happened, right? I acted in good faith and took a hit. Okay, cool. Did the Senate lose money? No. Did Argentinians lose money? Maybe 4 or 5 at most. Well, anyways, Argentina's main stock index drops 5.7% following the alleged Libra scam. Now, India's seized approximately $190 million in crypto during an investigation into the BitConnect Ponzi scheme. FTX repayments begin today, with an estimated 16 to 18 billion in total payments, and the first phase will issue 6.5 billion up to 7 in liquidity. Guys, 7 billion is definitely, a huge chunk, to being honest with you, right? So, of course, not everything will gonna end up in the market towards my belief. Nonetheless, you have to remember that this type of money is coming back to crypto degens, and what crypto degens tend to do when they have a little bit of spare money, right? They are going to reinvest it into crypto, I believe, right? That's what I would do probably, since I'm a crypto degen as well, investing into these, old coins. Anyways, guys, I'm just joking, all right? I do believe that I have picked the right coins for this cycle, but of course you get the point. I hope that you get the point. Anyways, Union Bank of Switzerland have reportedly bought $1.2 billion worth of MicroStrategy, and MetaPlanet Japan adds more BTC to its balance sheet, now holding over 2,000 Bitcoin with a year-to-date yield of 15.3%. Elon Musk officially outbids the SEC for fraud, abuse, and waste, and now Texas will hold a hearing tomorrow on establishing a Bitcoin reserve. Long term, this is bullish, okay? So I hope that you had happy reading, and now let's move a little bit, okay? Because now, speaking about Ethereum, whales are actually buying insane amounts of Ethereum, and they know something about altcoin season, right? So guys, you see that, right? Why whales, right, balance 100k to 100k? Well, these are considered whales these days, right? They are basically loading up Ethereum, okay? Why do they load up Ethereum? Because they think that Ethereum is going to dump like you do? Guys, remember that Ethereum always is starting the altcoin season, okay? Bit Elite is saying that they are trying to take this liquidity at 95,000, and what happened, right? We basically dropped towards 95,000 for BTC at the time of recording this video, or actually a couple of hours before. Nonetheless, we've got around 120 million liquidations just before 3 possible positive news that can come tomorrow. Ukraine war negotiation possible stop, FTX first phase reimbursement, and around $6 billion, obviously FTX, and then Texas announcement about Bitcoin strategic reserve, right? So guys, remember that, you know, these elites, right, just like Miles or other posts basically mentioned, they're trying to push the price of crypto towards the downside so they can get in at better discount, if that makes sense. Speaking about FTX, they actually just made a test transaction of 1 BTC and the repayments start today. So we've got 16 billion that will flow into the crypto market, right? Guys, I believe something big is going to happen. But anyways, if you want to make sure that your Kaspa is safe, or anything else, in fact, make sure that you check out Tangent Wallet, because it's definitely much better way to secure your crypto outside of exchanges on which anything might happen at this point. And my favorite feature actually for this wallet, or any other in fact, is that you can actually swap your Kaspa or any other crypto into USDT, and there's no need to send it back to centralized exchanges. All right, and with my discount code you can get minus 10% off, and of course you've got another 5% off extra. You can find the link below this video, as you can see in here, and of course you got Bybit and BitUnex, just in case if you would like to trade this volatility. Now, ladies and gents, let's come back to another bullish news. I believe global liquidity is on the rise, right? And this is also another thing that we are waiting for, because we have to remember that this market is driven by liquidity. So there's been a lot of talk about the TGA drawdown, and since markets tend to front run widely known events, the key question now is, has the market already priced in a potential 400 to 600 billion injection, which is not quantitative easing? It's very similar, but kind of like, right? So hard to say, but what's clear is that our liquidity model has been climbing over the past week, while Bitcoin has yet to catch up. Short-term selling might slow things down, but when liquidity is rising, it usually offsets short-term noise. The TGA drawdown is now in full motion and will likely continue until April, with another drain expected post-tax season if there is no debt ceiling resolution. We are seeing multiple bullish signs aligning. So guys, in my opinion, this is just a noise for you to feel angry, feel hateful, putting hate into these comments, right? And this is exactly how they want you to feel, right? If you think about it. But of course, guys, probably people are not going to understand it anyways, and they are going to be, you know, doing hateful stuff. Guys, I don't want this to be too long, but we've got this. I don't know if it's true, but if it's true, okay, North Korea, Kim Jong-un says that it will buy $10 billion worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Fuck all the birds. Guys, well, I wouldn't be surprised, to being honest, if that's true. Okay, obviously we know what Trump is doing, we know what America is doing, and this little guy over here doesn't want to be worse than America, so of course he doesn't want to be left behind, just like other countries. It's the same like with rockets, for example. Of course they are chasing each other, who's got bigger rockets, who's got bigger weapons, and now hopefully the chase is going to be who's got more Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, now another thing, of course, I don't want to say that this is Kaspa's listing tomorrow, okay? I'm not going to use it as a thumbnail. Obviously, that will be too much for you guys to, you know, digest. But what if? Right? What if? Let's see, right? They're basically saying that your crypto journey is about to get a whole lot easier, and that's coming soon, 19th of February, which is tomorrow. Guys, let's see. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think it can possibly be? Because it's quite interesting and intriguing, okay? Now, guys, before we are going to look at short-term price prediction for Kaspa to conclude this video, let's actually have a look at Bitcoin's dominance, because I believe that this chart is definitely the one that we have to follow, okay, very closely. Daily is playing again with us, and I knew that is going to come, because obviously stochastic RSI is bottoming and we've got this a bullish cross. But what I'm waiting for is actually the weekly picture, which I'm going to show you, right? Also, guys, from the standpoint of kind of, you know, technicals, we can technically consider this situation as another let's say bearish retest, hopefully. Okay, now guys, let's have a look at USDT dominance, because it's another chart that of course we have to follow. Okay, so daily is showing us the same momentum, right? We can technically consider this as a double top, which is actually brewing in here. But also guys, on a weekly time frame, as you can see, stochastic RSI is basically almost topping, in my opinion, couple of weeks, and we are going to see different scenario for altcoins, so on and so forth. Now let's come back to Bitcoin's dominance, guys, and let's see the RSI. So you see RSI is pretty much in the same momentum, right? I don't know how much more it can potentially go, right? So if I'm going to drop my horizontal line in here, guys, you can clearly see that technically we can see a little bit of more pain, okay? But it all depends, guys, of how patient you are. If it comes to Bitcoin, now we've got situations such as this, okay? More people are shorting, and this is something that we want to see, because now from the standpoint of market makers, well, in their eyes at least, this is definitely much more juicy to actually push the price of BTC towards the upside. Okay, let me actually quickly go into, let's say, weekly to see what is the liquidity outlook for BTC based on that heat map, and then we are going to move towards Kaspa. So you see what happened, right? Just like this account from X was saying, right? The liquidity was grabbed at 95, and now it is piling over here above, okay? Because obviously people are shorting. Unfortunately, they have shorted a little bit too late. Since I have one weekly in here, let's put Binance Kaspa perpetual on a weekly. Let's see what is the situation for our beloved Kaspa, and then we are going to come back to daily. We are going to conclude with short time frame price prediction for Kaspa. Now, ladies and gents, 1 week, okay? What I truly believe potentially might happen, again, not financial advice, I have no clue, but the pure logic. If I would be a market maker, I would probably push the price of Kaspa towards last level and grab that $109,000. That's price of 0.09 from Kaspa, and then more liquidity is going to pile above at 11 cents 5, and we can expect, let's say, this move within 1 week. So a little bit of a more downside based on weekly, and then liquidity grab above at around 11 cents. Well, definitely makes sense to me. Now let's have a look at 24-hourly outlook on Binance. Okay, these guys have the biggest liquidity. So 24-hourly, what I think is that we are going to see a little bit of more pain. Okay, exact 10 cents, and then maybe even quick towards 0.09. Okay, ladies and gents, I hope that this video helps, and as always, peace and love crypto.